Okay, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the United Kingdom Speedrunner Gathering Spring 2021. We are running now with Yakuza 3 Remastered, and I will pass you over now to RebelDragon95, who is our runner for today. Rebel, take it away.
Alright, cool. I'm RebelDragon95. Welcome to Yakuza 3. Oh, I've just noticed something. My game is too big for your thing. I have fixed it. Sorry, that was my B. I didn't know it when it came up on screen.
Wouldn't be UKSG without some tech, right?
Without me messing up tech like I did on Friday when I got disconnected from Parsec at the worst possible time. It's still slightly too big. I apologise greatly for this. Move that up there. I fixed it for you. There you go. I had it set up for a different marathon, and that's why it was messed up. Right. Right, let me skip through all this again, and then we can get the run started. So apologies, that was my B. Right, so welcome to Yakuza 3. I'm RebelDragon. Time will start when I click on easy mode. So if you're already on tech, time will start in 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck, Rebel.
Thank you. Right, so that's just a thing that tells me that I've got data from other Yakuza games. Hell yes. Right, so Yakuza 3. So the first thing that Yakuza 3 does in its story is it basically sets up a ton of different story threads that go on. So the main kind of plot of this game is about the land that Kiryu's orphanage is on, which he goes to set up at the end of Yakuza 2. And about how people were getting shot because, they have deeds to it, and these two dudes want it. And I'll get into more about who these two guys are a little bit later. So the first thing that this game does is it basically puts us right at the end of Yakuza 2. So this is the one and only time we get to see Sayama. Sayama is very, very important to the plot of the second Yakuza game. This is when she gets written out of the series completely, so, big rip on that one. So this is Kiryu saying goodbye because she just kind of goes, yeah, I'm moving to America to be a policewoman. Or a police officer, sorry. And then, then we get put straight to Kamurocho. Alright, so I'm going to go see my boy Yuya. So in this part here, this part of the game takes place in like 2007 or something. And basically it's just Kiryu saying goodbye to the people that had helped him out through the years of him being around in Kamurocho, being dragged around by Yakuza people and becoming the named Dragon of Dojima. So we're going to talk to Yuya, then we need to go find Kazuki. So in Yakuza 2, Kazuki actually gets hurt in a fight, or I can't remember the exact instances of why he gets hurt, but he gets hurt in a fight, and we take him to this guy's hospital. So we're gonna go visit the hospital. I'm so sorry about the kids outside. They are just actually shouting. Right. So this is the first tutorial, and this is the tutorial on how to punch things. Right. So I'm gonna have to do combo stuff, and by hitting multiple people, you actually get double on the thing it counts. So this one, I'm just gonna do that. Okay, that did not work. I wanted to do that. Oh, please just get ahead. Thank you. So he gets up, so I'm going to grab him. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. Oh, he actually hit me out of the thing, which is actually pretty good. And now wants me to go pick up a bin. So I'm going to go pick up a bin. 1, 2. You can actually do this in one bin grab, but the guys have to be lined up perfectly. Very cool. That was actually really lucky. Now I need to build up my heat bar. Cool. That was good. Grab him. Throw him into the wall. Grab him. Throw him into the wall. And then I'm going to go over here, grab this guy, throw him into the wall. Basically just to make sure that they're all on the same level of HP. Okay. Just keep that guy, thank you. Right, so that's the end of the first tutorial. And that's in the first tutorial. That was okay. Right, so, after we kick off those guys, we're going to go into the hospital and say hi to Kazuki and Emoto. Right, so one thing which is nice about this game is, even though I'm skipping all the text, I just get to hold R1 and X to do it. There's only specific text scenes that you actually have to mash. And they're only the ones where there are voices in them. Oh, something else that I also didn't mention is, even though I am playing this on my PS5, because, you know, I'm one of those boys that managed to get one, it's not actually faster on the PS5, it's the same speed as a PS4 Pro, and a base PS4 for this game, but I needed more space on my PS4 Pro, so I put this game on my 5. That's literally the only reason why I'm playing it on the PS5. Alright, cool. So we're going to go meet up with Majima, but before that I've got another tutorial I've got to do. And this is the classic Yakuza tutorial on how to defend yourself. And blocking on and enemies on easy aren't the most aggressive things in the world. So so blocking them is easy obviously, but like it can take a while for them to decide to attack me. Alright, cool. These are our boys, the street thugs. I'm just going to stand here and block. And hope I don't have to reposition myself. Okay, I have to reposition myself. Oh, hell yes, that guy did it. Right, so now I have to hold R1, which is lock on. It says fighting stance, but this is basically this game's version of lock on. I'm trying to get these guys in a particular position to come around the bike. Because I need them in the corner to deal them all with the same. Right, so I'm going to do a quick step. Okay, cool, they're going to come round. Nice. Right. I'm going to go over here. To do this 10 times. Oh, that didn't work. So I'm trying to do it 10 times in a row on the same dude. That did not work either. This is not going well. And he blocked. Lovely. Cool, that's the end of that tutorial. Now I'm going to pick up... Oh, okay, pick up the wrong thing. Heat move. Hit him around a bit. I'm going to go grab this item and go 1, 2... like that. Back it up. And that's in that tutorial. That tutorial was pretty poor, but... there's not much you can do about that one. That one's actually really, really hard to do ultimately. Right, cool. So after that, this guy comes up and goes, "You guys do realise that is the Dragon of Dojima, right?" And then they're like, "Oh no, sorry about that." Alright, cool. So, now I'm going to go see my boy Majima. And, you know, it's normally quite early in the Yakuza game to see Majima in Chapter 1, but yeah. So basically, the whole reason why Kiryu's going to see Majima is because at the end of Yakuza 2, he gets Daigo to become the new chairman of the Tojo clan. And in this game, at the start of this game, since he's leaving Kamurocho, he goes to ask Majima to keep an eye on Daigo to make sure he doesn't get into any trouble or do anything dumb. But, you know, in classic Yakuza fashion, in order to get Majima to agree, we have to punch him up a bit. So this game, in Chapter 1, throws a fully functioning Majima at you, where you barely have anything to deal with him. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to grab him, punch him twice, and whenever you grab him, he tends to break away from you and laugh. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that. And he actually gets up and counters you, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to be waiting for him. Grab him again. He's going to laugh at me. So what I actually did there is, whenever a boss is getting up off of the floor, their AI doesn't tend to stop heavy attacks if you whiff the first two hits of a combo. Okay, Majima, please. Okay, cool. So basically, by timing your combos correctly, you can actually stun lock bosses. Right, I'm going to try him again because I need to get the Feel the Heat. Right, so this is the Feel the Heat. Normally we try and avoid these. It's actually really hard to avoid this one on the Marshmallow fight because how this guy is and how his AI likes to behave. So what we're actually going to do is just do the Feel the Heat because it does a chunk of damage to him instantly. And then I'm just going to try and stun lock him again. Okay. Do that again. Marshmallow break away from your laugh. Okay, I guess I'm just going to have to do this then. And just kind of play around with him. Okay, that was a really stupid Marshmallow fight. He would not cooperate. So I just had to start throwing him and going ham. Right, and that's the end of chapter 1. Alright, cool. So, chapter 2. Chapter 2, we're on the... we are now 2 years later, and we're on Kiryu's orphanage in Okinawa. Sorry guys, I have to skip the cutscene with the curry on the table. I always want to look at the curry on the table, but I can never do it. I have to skip the cutscene. Alright. So we can get to see Kiryu in a lovely Hawaiian shirt. Because you know, that's what you have to do when you live on the beach. And we're going to go talk to Azumi here. So Azumi's been having some trouble at school because of the fact she's an orphan, so people have been taking the mickey out of her. So Kiryu here goes to cheer her up. Alright, cool. And basically tells her that no matter what, they are the family to her. Right, I've just got a few more cutscenes to go through, so if you've got anything you need to talk about on the hosting side, feel free to do it for a second.
Lovely, thanks. We'd definitely like to thank ESA for supporting this marathon. Besides providing us with the channel that we're running on right now, they share gear, they share technical assistance, and they share sponsors as well. So a quick plug then for Break the Record Live, which is ESA's next event, happening next weekend, 30th of April to the 2nd of May. And also Break the Record Live Super Mario Sunshine happening from the 28th to the 30th of May. Also, very quickly, we are less than $300 away from beating the donation total of UKSG Autumn 2019. So if you can help us reach that total and hit the amazing milestone of $2,000 for Crisis, get your donations in. Thanks, Rebel.
Alright, cool. So you might have noticed, I did this earlier in Camera Retro, but I'm panning the camera down. When they ported these games to PlayStation 4, they improved the loading times. And basically that just makes it so that more NPCs spawn. All panning the camera down it despawns the NPCs. There are a few more uses for it that I'll get into later. But, yeah. Okay. But, yeah, that's what it is for now. So this is Rakia. So what happened during this, what happened there for a second is that Kiryu finds out that, oh my god, that sounded weird. Finds out that someone is trying to get rid of the deeds for his land. So he goes to find the Ryudo family, and this leads into Rakia. So I'm just going to kick this man up a bit. So what I did there was I put him in the corner next to the signs, because when you kick the signs around, they do more damage. Okay, this is kind of pooped now. Oh, I mistimed the hit completely, so I'm going to do that. And that's him dead. I say dead, it's him beaten up. And that's a Rakia fight. That was an okay fight. The signs didn't do a lot of damage. You normally get both signs exploding on him, but yeah. But that is how you destroy that man. And as you saw there, I was stunning him with heavy attacks, because, as I said, boss AI doesn't really work in this game a lot of the time. So when you do... whenever you knock down a boss, you can... whiff 2 attacks, or whiff any number of light attacks, and then do a heavy attack before they get up again, and their AI just won't block the heavy attack. It doesn't work on every boss 100% of the time, but it does work a majority of the time. Alright, so I've got my hands in a really awkward position right now because I've got to hold tech skip and camera down. So, because there's 2 tech scenes you have to skip during this, which is these 2. On the way to the Ryudo family office, which is also the end of chapter 2. Alright. So here's the boy Rakia. Rakia runs up here. And skip a cutscene. Then he goes to talk to Nakahara. And Nakahara here basically explains about someone coming to get the deeds for the land that Kiryu's orphanage is on. Right. So, in chapter 3 now. And doing that there, walking backwards there, actually saves like half a second than what we used to do, which is go around the table. So we are gonna walk nice and slowly to talk to Shiro here, because Shiro's also having trouble at school. And he basically is getting bullied, but he doesn't want to admit it to us. So, because Shiro won't tell us, Kiryu's going to go to the orphanage informant, which is Taichi. Taichi knows everything that's going on with everyone's life in the orphanage. He's just an absolute god. So he's here play fighting with Mitsuo, and then he tells Kiryu about the fact that Shiro's getting bullied by someone. So Kiryu does what most parents would do, and he tries to call up the school. But it turns out the bully is actually the teacher's son, so he won't do anything about it. So Kiryu instead decides to go above his head and goes, maybe I should go see the chairman of the board, or like whatever they're called for schools in Japan. I don't actually know off the top of my head. So again, he's going to go back to Shiro. Shiro admits that someone's bullying him. So before I can move on to the next thing, I just got to go back and confirm stuff with Taichi. Because, you know, Taichi knows everything. Now he's up here talking to Haruka. Then I'll go back and talk to Shiro. And then we get into a really good part about Yakuza 3. So in most of the Yakuza speedruns, you get to skip the cutscenes and skip all the dumb auto scroller stuff. Yeah, this game we don't get to do that. So we get to go play a lovely mini game known as Golf. So, and then after that, a little bit later, we get to play baseball as well. So, that's a hell yeah. But first things first, I got to go to golf. Because that's where the dude who, that's where the guy who's related to the school is. Alright, cool. I'm going to go in here. Golf station. Alright, let's go to this. Let's go talk to them. So Kiryu turns up and they're like, oh, you need to have a pass. And then the guy that we need to talk to just happens to be there and is like, do you want to play some golf? And Kiryu is like, oh, hell yeah, I want to play some golf. So, this just is a tutorial on how to play golf. Gonna wait for it to go through. It tells you about how to aim, how to do all the ball spinning and how to change your club and stuff, how to swing. I'm just gonna just yeet the ball and just pray it goes in the right places because aiming takes too long. I'm gonna do that. That's actually not bad. Do that. That. That was kind of bad, but whatever. I'm just gonna putt it from the rough. So when it comes down to doing golf in this, it's all about making snap decisions and just doing them fast. Cool, that's a good putt. Alright, so another thing that this game really loves to do is it really likes to taunt you by not putting the ball into the hole. Like that. Exactly like that. I did nothing wrong there. Alright, so this hole 2. Luckily we've only got to play 3 holes. Oh, that might be way too hard. Oh no, that was a really good shot. Alright. This man always gets a birdie on this hole because he's just a cheater. Right. So, One thing that I didn't mention is that the wind is random. Oh god, I'm gonna do that. Gonna do that. That's too hard. Oh no, that was fun. Okay, fairway. Okay, that was good. Alright, cool. So this NPC just always parts in the right direction. It's pretty funny. So he tends to get like the same score on every hole. It's only if the wind really screws him. That was a terrible part. Oh my word. I wasn't even paying attention for that part either. Oh well, this is pretty bad golf, but that's a pretty poor luck with how the ball decided to go. And that's the end of golf. You don't have to win golf, luckily. You just have to play around. So it's nowhere near as bad as some other things. Right, so now I've got to go back to the orphanage. Alright, cool. So, go back to the orphanage now. So, what's happening in the orphanage now is that the guy that we were playing golf with is actually here. Oh, that's Taichi. He's in the house. There's our boy Koji. There's Eri and Izumi. And then afterwards we get a nice cutscene where we see that Shiro got beaten up for standing up for himself. And then the teacher and the bully son appears, and the bully son makes fun of the dude you played golf with by calling him an old fart. And the man gets quite upset. He's like, damn, I got had. So Haruka turns up and asks us to help her with the cooking. So Kira's going to go make sure that everyone's fine. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over here. And Taichi's having a conversation with Ayako. And is upset that Ayako couldn't lend him any money. Because she's lost her money. Right. So now we have to go tell all the kids to go to the dining room. So we get to see some lovely walking animations. Going around here to Riona. Riona's hitbox for talking to her is actually outside the room fully. So if I just mash X there, I'm nowhere near her, but I teleport to her and start talking to her. So I'm gonna strut outside to here. Talk to Eri and Izumi. I gotta remember Taichi because I always forget about Taichi because he's over here. He's in a really weird position. He's over here. Nice little wee in the corner or something. And then I'm gonna go down to the beach and grab the other three guys, which is Koji, Mitsuo, and Shiro. God, it's really tested my memory trying to get all these names out. It always does every time. Right, so now I have to go talk to Haruka. So basically, all I'm doing now is easiest way to explain what's happening now is that Kiryu called an emergency meeting and he's gonna throw sus on everyone. So I have to go get Haruka. And the funny thing is, you talk to Haruka and she's like, "Where the hell were you? We're supposed to be cooking." And then he's like, "Oh, someone stole Ayaka's money." And she's like, "Oh my god." So yeah, so Kiryu's now gonna throw sus on everyone. Which is all that's happening here. So while Kiryu throws sus, if you've got anything you need to talk about, Skemmy, then please feel free to do it.
Perfect timing. Thank you very much. We've had a $10 donation come in from Paulister saying wanting to close the gap of the Mirror's Edge bid war. So thank you, Paulister, for another $10. That brings us closer to matching and potentially beating the $2,015 in autumn 2019. So yeah, don't forget we do have this Mirror's Edge bid war happening right now. If you would like to see the inbounds percentage category run as opposed to the 100% category, then you need to get your donations in the next couple of hours before we start the Mirror's Edge run after Yakuza 3. So back to you, Rebel.
Oh yeah. So after after everyone voted to skip, Kiryu goes back to the room and Eri outs herself as the imposter. So we're gonna go and confront her about it. And then her and Ako have a sorry and a make up about it. So Kiryu's gonna take everyone back to the dining room and is basically gonna say, yeah, I threw sus and I was wrong, so vote me off instead, please. Just get to watch his lovely run animation. Right. So you can't actually speed up the way you walk inside buildings, you just have to walk really, really slowly. Alright, cool. So this is when Kiryu basically like says, I was wrong, sorry about that guys, I didn't mean to cause arguments or beef between anyone. And they basically say that Ayako just dropped the money and Eri found it when really Eri did take the money, but Ayako doesn't want everyone to dislike Eri. Alright, so now we actually do get to finally go to the kitchen, but you know, because this is Kiryu and it is a Yakuza game, how about we go to the kitchen but we get stopped by Taichi because the guy that we punched earlier, Rakia, has appeared outside. So we have to go outside and try and find Rakia. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run down to the beach. And he ain't there, so Kiryu decides to go back up to the orphanage. Go up to the orphanage, and then we get a nice conversation with Rakia. So basically, the reason why Rakia's come is because Nakahara's adoptive daughter, Saki, has gone missing. And he wants to find it because Nakahara is beside himself with worry. Alright, so while this is going on, so I haven't mentioned about how fight spawns work in this game. So fight spawns are really annoying in this game. So they appear in random locations, and when they see you, they aggro onto you and they run at you. They're very much like how Pokemon trainers work. So the only way to avoid them is to just kind of run around them. Oh, that is actually a person. Is to go around them or to bait them, run away, and then run back around them when they de-aggro from you. But unlike other Yakuza runs, especially the Dragon Engine games, like things like 6, Kiwami 2, and Judgment, there's no way to actively despawn them like there is in those games. So you just kind of have to deal with it. And any fight spawn you do happen to get caught by is a automatic base of 30 seconds of time loss. Depending on how long the fight is and depending on how many people there are. It could be anywhere from 30 seconds to like a minute and a half to 2 minutes, depending on how many people there are. Luckily in this game, unlike Yakuza 5, in Yakuza 5, in this game, if you have 2 fight spawns chasing you, because you can have multiple ones on you. If you get hit by one of them, the other one will despawn. That doesn't happen in Yakuza 5. Yakuza 5, there are some street corners that can have like 5, 6 fight spawns, and if you get caught by one of them, you get caught by all of them. There's like no in between. So, as I mentioned before, I'm despawning the NPCs, and the reason why I look up every now and then, because NPC feet will disappear, but the feet that don't disappear belong to fight spawns. There's one right there. But because he was on the other side of the road, I could avoid him. So we walk up here. And these guys are from the Tamashiro family, which is and Tamashiro's the guy who took Saki. So we're going to punch these guys to ask them where the office is. Oh hell yes, I got the sign. Oh, okay. That's a good fight. That was a very good fight. So the whole idea is at the start of that fight is I want to hit the guy in white into the big dude and then also knock them into the sign because the sign does additional damage on top of everything. And that kind of worked out. Right, there's no fight spawn there. There can be a fight spawn around this corner, which is really annoying to deal with. So there's Saki's sketchbook. So Saki's thing is that she likes to draw, so she has her sketchbook there. So Kiryu's going to go here. And then he bumps into this guy called Kamiyama. And Kamiyama here runs the weapon shops. So he tells us about the weapon shops. And then he opens up the one in Okinawa for us. We never have to use this weapon shop. We actually have to open up the one in Kamurocho. Because we don't come back to Okinawa for ages when we get to go to Kamurocho in about 20 minutes time. So this man gives us an expandable staff. The expandable staff is a really, really weak weapon without like modifications or anything like that on it. But his heat move is actually really, really good. So we actually do use the expandable staff a couple of times for his heat move. So now we get to go into a set piece. So this is the Tamashiro office. So I have to beat these guys to... I didn't mean to do a full combo. When you got to do 3 hits into uppercut. And I want to go right here. Jump on that guy. Cool. I got a couple of hits in before it tutorializes the fact that you can hit them. Because apparently you can do that. Hit those lockers, get them out of the way. So something funny, right, is in Yakuza 3, you don't actually have to fight all the enemies in the set pieces. You can just run past the majority of them. There's only specific rooms where you have to fight them. And something funny, all the QTEs in this segment are actually the same button input every time. So every time a QTE starts, I can just mash X, and I know exactly when all the QTEs are coming. There's one by this door here, and it's an X one, so I just get to mash X. If you get pulled into that room, I believe there's another fight that you have to deal with. And there is one by this second door here. And it's also an X. And when the camera decides to not screw me, that would be useful. I run all the way past all these guys as well, even though there's guys with knives, guys with tasers. There's guys everywhere. This is the only fight that you actually have to do in this set piece, which is with these dudes in here. So I'm going to do a full combo on this guy, knock him into the wall. So something that I didn't touch on is when you knock enemies into walls, they actually take additional damage from the walls. Okay, I guess I just dropped my combo. Okay, 2, 3. Oh my god, a guy is using his pressure washer out there. And that's the end of the Tamashiro office. So this is the boss fight with Tamashiro. Nice and anticlimactic. I'm going to open up the menu and start leveling up some abilities. And a car alarm. Oh, lovely. Everything decides to go off.
The perks of suburbia, right?
Yep, exactly. Now I'm going to do that. Oh, I actually think it's my mum doing it, which I think is even funnier. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to try to keep him in this corner. Because this is the best corner for doing this in. So what I'm actually trying to avoid with this guy is he actually has a couple of things he can do. If you let him get off for too long, he actually goes into second phase, which is where he pulls out a couple of knuckle dusters. And once he's in second phase, you have to watch out for a QTE that he can do. Cool, full combo. Alright, cool. Corner again. I find it funny that the people that are just literally there behind the desk just stood there just waiting for you to finish fighting each other. So as I said, there is a field of heat that I'm trying to avoid in this as well. So if you could hit more than just 2 hits if you combo Kiryu, that'd help immensely. This fight really is not going the way I wanted to. Okay, he's in the corner, I want him in now. Stop rolling out the corner, I need you. Okay, good. Okay, good. That's a good fight. Because he didn't get off any of the stuff that he needed to. in order to destroy me. I was kind of slow-ish, but like he didn't get off anything. So the final cutscenes here is just Daigo and some other guy from the government coming to see Nakahara about the deeds and some other meeting stuff, and basically telling Kiryu that he's not going to sell him out. So between that bit and this bit, Daigo got shot because, you know, it's Daigo. Something always has to happen to Daigo, and this here is one of those cutscenes where I have to mash X to get through it because it's a voice one. And after that, oh, also Nakahara got shot as well, which is why we're in the hospital. And they both had the deeds for this land stolen from them by what we currently know as just some guys in some black suits. And Kiryu decides he needs to go to Kamurocho because he needs to talk to Kashiwagi. And Kashiwagi might have an idea about what's happening. So Rukia, because it's related to, because his patriarch got shot, Rukia wants to go with Kiryu. So Kiryu agrees to take him to Kamurocho with him, and help him sort an issue. So true shit hit the hay. So now we get into the meat of Chapter 4. Chapter 4 is one of the longest chapters in the run. So there's a lot of stuff that goes on in this chapter. A lot of it is orphanage stuff. So at the start here, Izumi and the others are playing with this dog, and it means a lot to Izumi because that dog looks like a dog that she had previously when she was younger, called Mame. So she wants to get the dog. Alright, so we're going to go into the main city to get the dog and follow it around a bit. So now we can actually pick up what are called locker keys. So locker keys aren't on the map until Chapter 4. So they're actually very important for the run. We can get some really, really good items from picking up some locker keys. So we pick up 6 in this run. We pick up 4 in Okinawa and we pick up 2 in Kamurocho. So I'm going to pick up the first one now and then the others as we go through. So, first one is up past here. I have to watch out for fight spawns. Right, those 3 dudes in the distance there are actually a walking... Oh god, there was a guy there. I did not see him until the last second. So yeah, this is a fight spawn. Oh, and it's going to give me a QT as well. Of course it decides to give me a QT. Oh, Lamau. And that's so much time lost. Right, cool. I got 10,000 yen for that. That's actually useful. That 10,000 yen is actually useful. Even though we lost time from the fight spawn, that 10,000 yen is good. Right, so we're going to go over here. Grab that. So there can actually be some really nasty fight spawns around here. There is not. It's not one good. So there can be some fight spawns down this road here, and there's just no place to avoid them. But because there was one around the corner there, I pretty much knew I was safe. Even though I got caught. Anyway, it's fine. Alright, so now this is the first chase section. It doesn't tutorialize how to do chases because you're not supposed to catch up with the dog or hit the dog or anything. So the way you sprint in chases is by holding right trigger. So I'm just going to sprint through these. Just got to chase the dog around here to its set location. This is pretty much an auto scroller. As long as you don't tap into walls, you don't lose time. So, around here. Even though I cut this corner, it doesn't actually save any time because you have to wait until the dog gets to a certain place anyway. Right, so they corner the dog by this moped, and so Izumi asks Kiryu to help befriend the dog. So we're going to help befriend the dog. So we get 4 options here. We're going to pick definitely Bones. Definitely Bones. So what I need to do here is I need to go to the convenience store and ask if they have any bones. But first things first, I'm going to pick up this locker key. And I'm going to go around here to this M store. And go talk to the clerk. And the clerk's like, we don't sell dog bones. So Kiryu's like, okay. But just to make doubly sure, just to make just to make sure, I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna ask him again. Okay, cool. I asked twice. Right, so now that I've asked twice, I need to go back to Izumi. Oh god. So one thing about this game's controls on the remaster, sometimes you have to death grip the controller to get Kiryu to walk in the right direction. I don't know if it's just me, but that's just how I feel. Then we're gonna pick Definitely Bones again. So what you're meant to do for the second bones is you're meant to go and ask the other M store if they have bones. But because I asked that M store twice, for some reason Kiryu just goes, I've already asked both of them, and then you get to move on without having to walk all the way to the other side. That was found by another Yakuza runner called Tapioca, who does a lot of stuff with this game, Yakuza 4 and Yakuza 5, and a lot of stuff with Kawaii 2 as well. So Izumi and Mikio are going to take a dog walk. So we're going to go into the Mahjong camp league because we don't play Mahjong, and I don't know how to play Mahjong either. And that is more than enough time for them to take the dog for the walk. So these Tamashiro grunts decide to turn up and deck Mikio. So Kiryu shows up and shows them what's for in that cutscene. And now we're going to go back to the orphanage. Alright, cool. So, we're getting up to something kind of cool in a second. Which is one of the biggest route changes that we had in Yakuza 3 in quite a while. So, basically, what we're going to do is we're going to watch Mitsuo attempt to ask Riona to the movies with him. But basically, she then turns him down. So as a way to try and help him, and as a way to help him, we're going to get Mitsuo some new clothes. We're going to make him look hella good. Hella good. That's what we're going to make him look like. Alright, so once this dialogue's ended, you're going to regret this. And now we're going to go to the clothing store. So, the big route changes. We used to do 2 sub-stories in this run. So we used to do 2 sub-stories in a chain. We used to stop a man from jumping off a bridge. We then unlocked a completely unrelated sub-story about paying a debt for a fisherman guy. So, we used to do those 2 sub-stories, which gave us 200,000 yen. But yeah, picking up that lock key there gives us 290,000 yen from the weapon that it gives us. So yeah, we just don't do those sub-stories anymore. And that saves like a good 2 minutes from not having to do the 2 sub-story things. Alright, so now we've got that. And mentioning sub-stories, something that the remasters did is that they put the sub-stories on the map. I believe in the original you couldn't see the sub-stories on the map until you had the sub-story finder. I don't know, I don't remember if that's in the PS3 game, because I didn't play this game until the PlayStation 4 version. So I'm just used to having the sub-stories be on screen. So there's a couple of them that we have to avoid. I might run into them to avoid fights if I have to. But yeah. Alright then, so I brought some clothes for Mitsuo. We're going to make him look nice and cool. You ready? Because Mitsuo doesn't like what Rikia brought for him, but you know, what Kiryu buys from what we brought for him makes him look hella good. Right, so while he is asking Riona out again and getting rejected, after this we have to go find him again in the main streets of Okinawa. So if you have anything you need to talk about Skemmi, then please feel free to do so.
Wonderful, thank you. I'd like to give a shout out at this point to BSG for supporting the marathon. BSG hold bi-monthly gatherings over in the Netherlands. They've been great supporters of UKSG right from the beginning by spreading the word and providing us with a channel to stream on in past sessions, amongst many other things. So I want everybody watching to mark your calendars, please. BSG Online 5 is happening on the 18th to the 20th of June, and submissions are open right now. So the event will be streamed on this channel. That's twitch.tv/ESA Marathon. You won't need to go very far to watch it, but get your submissions in for BSG Online 5. Back to you, Rebel.
Alright, cool. So, and again, Taichi comes in and knows exactly where Mitsuo went, because, you know, Taichi is the biggest boy. He knows everything. He's the biggest brain. So we're going to go to the main street of Okinawa again. And we're going to take a taxi, because it just gets us to where we need to go a little bit faster. So we're going to go around here, go down here, take this taxi. We're literally just going to taxi around the corner. It's pretty good. And this cutscene trigger, we're meant to go over to the plaza on the other side of the road, but if we just run down here, the cutscene trigger's that big, it just draws us in anyway. Alright, so Riona gets picked on by some kids and Mitsuo stands up for her, so she gains a lot of respect for him. And then we get to play the baseball. So, baseball in this, we have to hit 10 shots back at the kids to catch. So, but the problem with it is, we want to make the cutscenes for baseball as short as possible. So the ways you can do that is by bunting or miss-hitting the ball, or you can do it the way I like to do it, which is I like to hit the ball directly into the ground. So there's multiple ways to do this. As long as you cut the cutscene short, that's fine. Because if you hit the ball too high, a really long cutscene plays. It is pretty funny watching the kids all trying to run around and tripping over themselves trying to catch the ball. But yeah, we don't have time for that. So this here is Akira. Akira's just on the beach, so all the kids decide to ask him if he wants to get involved with playing some baseball with them. So they give him the bat to hit some balls, but then Kiryu walks up and he's like, "Boys, it's time for me to play." Literally like 20 seconds after he starts. So here we go, we're going to go and take the bat. Oh, talk to Koji, please. Let's go catch some flying balls. Hell yes. Right. So I'm going to hold my stick death grip directly downwards to the left slightly. And I'm going to hit it into the ground like that. And I'm going to try and do that 10 times in a row. And if I hit it too high, the cutscene loses about 4 seconds. It's really, really long. So I'm trying to cut the cutscenes as short as possible. The way I do it, the cutscenes are sometimes like a second longer, depending on how far the ball flies, than if you bunt it. But it's a lot more consistent for me than trying to do the 10 bunts in a row, the way I do it. Alright, 6 more left. Alright. Well, the way I do it is also sometimes risky because you have to leave hitting it till like the last second. And you can whiff, which is kind of annoying. Got a code. She just fell flat on his face there. Right. Then after this, we get to continue on with going to Kamurocho. So 3 more balls. Oh, Shiro fell over the dog! No! Shiro! Oh, then Koji fell over the dog. Yeah, they fall over the dog and they trip over all the time. It's pretty funny. Alright then. That is the end of baseball. So, at the end of baseball, Kiryu then goes, I need to pack because I need to go to Kamurocho. So we're going to leave the kids playing baseball, having a good time with each other. But by the time Kiryu gets back up to the orphanage, yeah, Akira passed out due to exhaustion. So, through that short time of Kiryu being there and walking up here, Haruka comes up like, Uncle Kaz, Akira. So Akira passed out from exhaustion because he wasn't used to such exercise. So the mother calls the teacher because she wants to complain about these naughty children who who tired out her dear son, but instead he then goes, the teacher's kid's bullying me. So the mum gets angry at the teacher. So Akira here gives us a nice bye-bye. So we say bye to Akira. Bye, Akira. So now Haruka asks us if it's time to go to Kamurocho. And of course it's time to go to Kamurocho. I'm tired of Okinawa. Right, so this bit here, there's actually a giant cutscene trigger by the beach, which means I have to hug this wall. Otherwise we get hit by a cutscene. And the cutscene actually does nothing. All it does is open up like another side story thing with like a couple that you see in Yakuza 1 and 2. Another thing about when you have Haruka with you is the sub-stories all despawn, because you can't go into sub-stories while you have Haruka in Okinawa. So, I'm entering the Death Chamber, I like to call it. This is the public market, and once fight spawns start appearing, this is like the Death Chamber, because there's barely any way to avoid them, and because you can't despawn them, they just automatically catch you most of the time. Funnily enough, when we used to go to the sub-story back in here, there's actually fight spawns that can spawn inside this supermarket. Luckily, we can't get any now because we don't have to go to the other side of the supermarket. So Haruka decides she wants to go shopping, but she speedruns it. So we're going to go over here, come back, and she's done. You're meant to go looking around the entire thing and just kind of view stuff, but if you just run around that corner then run back, she finishes. Oh, there was a fight spawn right there. Luckily, I took that route back. Right then, so now we've got to go back to the train station. Straight there. And then we're going to leave Haruka here with the kids. Oh, nice. There's a first one there as well. Alright. And then we get introduced to someone which you all know from other Yakuza games, especially if you play past this point. This is our boy Mac. And Mac is obsessed with something called Revelations. So Mac shows us how to use our phone to record and to post blog stuff of interesting things that we see. So there's this woman on a moped here. I have this in my notes as funny granny on bike cutscene. And yeah, this is just peak Yakuza. If you ever want to know why people love the Yakuza games, it's for wacky stuff like this. So Kiryu sees this woman just happily riding along. And she sees the person that she stands, so she hits the taxi, doesn't react, has a nice little flip, and then nails that landing. And by doing all those QTs correctly, and then answering this next question correctly, which is she did a flip and landed it, Kiryu learns how to do a particular fighting technique, and in this case it's how to flip over people and kick them in the back. Because, you know, that's exactly what I took from that cutscene. It's peak Yakuza that Kiryu learns how to do this from watching her flip over a bike. So he writes a blog post about it, and it unlocks a new move. We never see that move, because we don't need to use it at all, because we barely try to hit people. Especially later on in the run. Alright, so before I go to grab my locker keys, I need to grab the locker key from here. Is that locker key? Alright, funny enough, there can actually be a fight spawn in this little plaza here, and they're really annoying to dodge. If you get one and you react fast enough, you can run into the sub-story and despawn it. So here I'm going to grab my Expulsion 12, my Shadow Blade, my double action revolver, and a Blackjack amulet. So we'll get into the Blackjack amulets a little bit later, but they are very important to this run. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to menu, buy double finisher, and menu gun there, and menu that there. Run around. So now we're going to take a taxi back to the middle of Okinawa. I can't remember the name of the street. I think it's Kituyara or something. No, I got it wrong completely. I can never remember the name of this street. But yeah, we taxi back to the middle, and then we get to go to Kamurocho. And that's us leaving Okinawa. So we're done with Okinawa for a long while now. Done with Okinawa for about an hour. Skip through all these cutscenes. It's just a bunch of background stuff about all the guys that are running the Yakuza in the Tojo clan. There's a cutscene where Hamazaki blows up a restaurant. I don't even remember the context of why he decides to do that, but he decides to do it. So we're going to go into Stardust and see Hasebi here, who's trying to wrestle with Kazuki and Yuya to sell Stardust to him. Hasebi's part of the Nishikiyama family that's run by a guy called Kanda, Shiyoshi Kanda now. But yeah, we have to fight this boy Hasebi. And what I'm going to do is, instead of punching this man, I'm going to pull out a gun and start shooting him. So something funny, right, is we used to think you had to lock on to shoot enemies to like shoot them, but if you just hold the aim button, which is LT, you actually shoot them faster by not locking onto them. We didn't know this in the speedrun community until somebody random came into Froob's chat, who is another runner of these games. And just when you do, and just when, I believe if you just hold left trigger, you shoot faster. Okay, good fight. So yeah, we saved like 45 seconds across the whole run by just shooting optimally, which is just holding left trigger, rather than trying to lock on. Right. So this is where Kazuki and Yuya tell Kiryu that Kamurocho isn't the same as 2 years ago when he left. And then we get a nice phone call from Kashiwagi, who asks Kiryu to go to Kamurocho, and Kiryu's like, but I'm already here though. So we're going to go see our boy Kashiwagi. And if you've played the other Yakuza games, Kashiwagi's very important in 1 and 0. He's quite a prominent character in those games. Oh, right, this is one we need to mash it. I wasn't even paying attention. But yeah, so these go a lot faster if you actually mash through them rather than holding R1 and X. There's a couple more of those you have to deal with, but not too many. Right, so now the game tries to funnel you towards a boss fight by putting police everywhere. But luckily it leaves one path open to a convenience store so that you can buy healing items and such. Luckily this convenience store actually has a locker key in it, and we need this locker key. So I'm going to go down to that convenience store anyway to grab the locker key because we need it. So I'll grab lock key, and then I'm going to go up towards the boss fight. So you saw I equipped the Expulsion 12 as well as my double action revolver. You can assume I'm just going to shotgun this boy because he's really annoying to deal with. So these two lock keys that I'm grabbing in Kamurocho, one of them's another blackjack amulet and the other one's another shotgun. So that's one of them. I don't remember which way around they are. I just know you need both of them. I can never remember exactly what number gives you what. I just know, oh, if I grab those four, I have these four items. I know the Shadow Blade one's the one on top of the sign in Okinawa, because that one was a recent route change. That guy's not a fight spawn, he just runs towards you trying to get all excited to give you some tissues. Alright, so you come around here, and this is where the game funnels you into, which is a fight with the Mysterious Foreigners, or Richardson, or the Men in Black, or the, oh god, how many more names can I come up for them? I'm gonna shoot him with the shotgun. Shoot him again. I'm trying to push his minions away from him, so then they don't get in the way of my shotgun shots. Perfect. Perfect. Perfect fight. Actually really good. That was gold. Right. So now, Kiryu sees our boy Mac here, who he doesn't recognise as Mac because he's just been attacked by some mysterious assailants. So now this is where the game tutorializes how to chase people. This chase can only end at a certain point. It's pretty much an auto-scroller. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just play it all out as normal. Just make sure I hit this guy. So one thing you have to be careful of in chases is you can actually clank off of pedestrians like their walls. And it's really annoying. So one thing that we also try and do in chase sections is we avoid jumping over stuff. Because the jumping animation in this is really slow. And unlike Yakuza 4, where jumping is optimal because it provides you with a little speed boost, it actually slows you down in this game. So we tend to avoid it. And the whole reason why I tackled him as soon as that pop-up came up is because that's where the tutorial ends. So you can tap him twice, then tap him as soon as the pop-up comes up, and that ends the tutorial. Right, so instead of going the way that Kiryu looks, we're actually going to turn around and go the other way. So I mentioned earlier about having to open up the weapon shop in Kamurocho. This is what we're going to go do now, because we don't need it until chapter. We don't need it until chapter 9. But we can't open it in chapter 9 because we have Date with us, and we start on the other side of Kamurocho. So we're going to do it now. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into the adult shop, and we're going to ask about the mixed bathing hot springs special, which gives us access to the weapon shop. Gonna here to sell, and that shadow blade I picked up earlier, that's where we sell it, and that's our money for the run. Right, so I'm gonna go into the bar to the right of me as well, Bantam. And I need to pick up a lock key from in here. And because we're right by the lockers, I'm going to go grab the locker keys now because I need the items that are in it. So around here, up these stairs, here like this. Got to make sure I'm in the right place, because if you're in the wrong place, you can't talk to the lockers. Then after this, I'm going to do a quick menu. And we're actually going to buy the last ability that we need from the ability screen. Yakuza 3, the combat abilities don't get good until you really get late into the tree. So, yep, I finally brought heat moves. I didn't have heat moves until just then on regular attacks. Then I'm going to go see Kashiwagi. And while I'm talking to Kashiwagi, feel free to plug anything or say anything you need to say there, Skimmy.
Oh, thank you very much. So, I want to reiterate that we're raising money to support Crisis, which is a charity supporting people out of homelessness for good. So they achieve this through education, training and support with housing, employment and health. 100% of all the donations that come to us over this 3-day event will be supporting Crisis. And in their own words, a little more about what they do. During the pandemic that's been going on, the frontline workers have been determined and committed to keep services going. So they've been really busy through the pandemic as well. So yeah, a really good charity that we're supporting with UKSG. And I'll pass it back to you, Rebel.
Alright, cool. I did forget to mention, the whole reason why he has to go see Kashiwagi is because Saki drew a picture of the person who shot Nakahara. And the person who shot Nakahara looks an awful lot like Kiryu's adopted father, Kazuma, who sadly died in the first Yakuza game, towards the end of it. So it's like a what the hell kind of moment. So a lot of this game's plot is trying to work out who this Kazuma lookalike is. Watch out for the... Okay, good, I didn't get the bonk animation. So I'm trying to avoid pedestrians here because you will just clank into them like they are walls, and this is really annoying. Hopefully these guys give me a straight path because they haven't the last few times. Okay, I'm going to run around them. And then I got caught anyway because I had to go the long way. This is what happens if you get caught by a policeman. You have to do a QT, which for some reason sometimes takes forever for no real reason at all. I've just been getting bad RNG in the police chase for a little bit now. Oh my god, please give me a gap to run through. Alright, so the NPC spawns are completely random. you can just get destroyed by them. I made a really good decision to swerve there. And avoid jumping as per usual. Go around here. So this last set of bins that I'm coming up to at the end of the street, I have to jump over because if you try and cut them, that policeman catches you. Avoid these guys. And that is the police chase. So now we get into Date pushing. So Date here is going to take us to a safe place. If you played any Yakuza game, you know the safe place is Serena. And we have to walk whenever Date walks because of the policeman around. And this is why we want to push Date, because Date's walking speed is actually slower than Kiryu's. So we push him to make it go a little bit faster. His running speed's also slightly slower than Kiryu's. So we push him to try and make him go a little bit faster. But it's really hard to push him because you slip off of him really, really easily in this older engine. Unlike in the Dragon engine where we do push someone in a Yakuza 6 speedrun per se, but it's a little bit harder to maintain your position in 3 than it is in 6. Because of how the models work. The whole reason why we need to walk when Date walks is because if we run, we actually aggro the policeman. And we get an extra cutscene where Date goes, "Don't worry lads, he might be covered in blood, but he's with me." And they go, "Ah, apologies ex-detective Date." Because in this game, Date has stopped being a detective and he's now a reporter. I don't remember the exact reasoning why, but yes, that is part of it. And then in later Yakuza games, he goes back to being a detective. Alright, so something that I'm also trying to do is, I'm also trying to make sure he doesn't stray too far from his line. Because if he strays too far from his line, he actually has to go back onto it. So trying to push him too far away from his dedicated line actually will work less in your favour because you will lose time to him trying to reset himself. So that's why whenever I'm pushing him too far, I tend to just stop and let him walk. Because I will lose more time trying to fix it than I will him just staying where I put him. This has been pretty okay pushes thus far. There's another policeman here. There's one more around the corner on Tenkaichi Street. I push him too far to the left there. Alright, cool. Alright, cool. So now we get a nice thing where Date's going to tell us about what the current Yakuza is. So this is Kanda. So Kanda took over the Nishikiyama family. And he is Kiryu's prime suspect right now is the guy who knows who shot both Nakahara and Daigo, which is what Kiryu's trying to work out because he doesn't want to lose the deeds to his land. This is Mine. Mine runs the Hakudo family. And this is Hamazaki. I don't remember the name of the family of Hamazaki. I always forget it. I looked it up before this run and I've already forgotten it. But yeah, this Hamazaki. Hamazaki has it buddy-buddy with the Snake Flower Triad from China. So yeah. So now Kiryu is now going to go try looking for Kanda. And now we get a hideout. We never need hideouts in this run. So since Kiryu's come to Kamurocho, we actually left Rukia behind. I didn't mention that because Rukia decides to chase us anyway and come to Kamurocho. Kiryu left him behind because he knew that Kamurocho is a dangerous place for someone who isn't used to being in the city. And Rukia has come and he's already lost. So we gotta go find Rukia. And the option is always the bottom one. So this, you're about to see what happens if you don't pan the camera down. So I get stuck in a phone call here. And this is what happens if you don't pan the camera. All these NPCs start spawning. And that guy in the white, blue and red shirt is actually a fight spawn. So I need to be very careful about avoiding him. Okay, cool, I got around him. Right, so we get another text message from Rukia now. And he's at this one. So you actually, he's at the bottom option. He's always at that bottom option. If you pick any other option, you have to go through every other option until you get to this particular M stall I'm going to. There's another fight spawn there. Alright, cool. So, something funny. Coming up to this M store here, if a fight is aggroed onto you, this animation here, if you're going into the door, doesn't actually save you. You can get caught during the animation after you've pressed X to go into the door, which is really stupid. But like, I've experienced it. Like, the camera changed, and then like the dude just hit me, and I was like, oh, okay, thanks, game. Right, so here is actually a thing I believe that was added in the remaster. It was missing. This is a piece of missing content from the PS3 game. But this guy here, wants to talk to you about you being in this photo and ask if you can ask who took the photo because you retain the right to know who did it. So Kira is going to phone up the magazine. And find out who did it, because the guy who took it, I believe, is this guy's father or something. And he's trying to find him. I believe you can continue that by going to the bar that was mentioned, but I've never actually done it before. Alright, so coming up here, there's a fight spawn there, which we need to avoid it. We're going up to this bit here. So, I brought heat moves actually to deal with this dude in the grey suit. Heat moves in Yakuza 3 are kind of annoying because they don't do a lot of damage to bosses, so they do sometimes get in your way. Because unlike other Yakuza games, there's no way to actually like prevent heat moves from coming out. Like in the Dragon Engine games, if you hold LT, okay, thanks. Okay, grab him, throw this man into the tree. I can get rid of him. And I'm going to hope he gets up in time so I can... Decent fight. So, as I was saying, heat moves kind of like get in your way in this game. Sometimes, because there's no way to like get rid of the icon like there is in some other of the games. Cool, so these guys tell us where Kanda is. So what they're actually trying to do is they were trying to take this woman to Kanda, who is currently in a love hotel. So instead of the female going to pay him a visit, Kiryu and Rikiya are going to go pay him a visit instead. So the love hotel is up here. Luckily, there never seems to be any fight spawns up this street. I don't know if the game can't spawn any up here because there's not enough room for a fight or something, but I never seem to have any fight spawns I have to worry about up that street. I don't know if any of the other runners of this game have had to deal with any up there, but I've never had to. So we're going to go to Love Hotel and we're going to get into the Find Kanda section. So as implies, we need to find Kanda who's in this hotel. So first things first, I need to deal with these dudes. Grab that guy, throw him into the wall. Stamp in his face. I did not mean to do that. Okay, doesn't matter too much. I guess I'm going to have to put up my hit again myself. Actually, no, I got 10,000 yen. I can use a stand man. Hell yes. So Kanda's actually in the same rooms every time. You can actually go into all of these rooms, and there are different cutscenes and things associated with them, where you like burst in on people like on the bed and stuff. So if you wanna oh god. Okay, cool. I forgot about this. I'm gonna do that. I mentioned about us using the expandable stuff. Here it is. Wait, did I hit the right guy? I did hit the right guy. I was like, hand second. That cutscene moved me to a really weird place. So yeah, here's the use of the expandable staff. We don't tend to use it for anything else, but yeah, what I was saying about whenever you play this game casually, you can go into all of these rooms and see all the different cutscenes. There's fights, there's like funny NPCs and all this other stuff. It's really, really cool that they decided to do that. It's pretty funny. that again. Gonna use a Sandman. Okay, that was so close to me getting bodied there. I was not locked onto him, so it didn't give me the heat move at the right time. So now we're going up to the 7th floor, which is the final floor. And Kanda is in this room here. Alright. And now we get straight into the Kanda boss fight. So Kanda's quite an annoying boss. So this man likes to super armor through you, then go grab chairs and items and stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here and try and push him into a corner. Like this. Then stun him. Okay, he's going to grab a sofa. Okay, Kanda, thank you for doing that, buddy boy. Okay, cool. That was a really, really weird first phase. So this man's going to grab this stone coin out of the wall. So I equip the shotgun because I need to blast this guy's HP really, really fast. To try and avoid him grabbing the second coin out of the wall and doing another QT. So this QT is always X. And pull out the shotgun and start shooting him. So what I'm doing here is when I get knocked out, when I get knocked down, I'm doing the Tamaki roll, which is one of the first bursts that we grab. Oh god, I'm gonna get the second phase. This is not going well. Yeah, this is second phase in. Oh no, that was so close to getting second phase. Okay, cool. That was kind of a poor fight, but I avoided the second phase of coin. Alright, so now we're out with Rakia. So we're gonna go to a restaurant with Rakia to get some get some food, because you know, after punching some people like that and interrogating them, you really do need to get some food, because Kiryu finds out that Kanda has nothing to do with what's actually happening. So as you can see, I'm pumping the camera up and down just so I can make sure I know where the fight spawns are. That guy might turn around, he didn't turn around. So all the people that disappear are NPCs, and the people that don't disappear are fight spawns. So that's how I can tell which one's which. Alright, cool. So we're going to go into this restaurant. If you don't split the bill, this boy Rakia charges you 80,000 yen. Which, if you don't know, is like $800. I don't know what this boy does, but man, he eats. And if not, it's only 8,000 between you. Right, and if you continue exploring with like Rakia, you get a bunch of Rakia side content, which is just boring and waste time. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to Date, and that ends the chapter. So before I go back to Date, I actually need to go to Kamiyama's custom shop up here. And what this lets me do is I can reload my guns. So one good thing about us switching routes to the Shadow Blade, we didn't used to have enough money to reload all 3 of our guns. We now have enough money to reload all 3 of our guns, so we could use them more. So I'm just going to reload all 3 of my guns. Let's make sure I do this right. Alright, cool. That's all my guns reloaded. Then I'm going to go into my items and skip this Propulsion 12 over my up, because I no longer need the expandable stuff. Go around here. Right, so we're going to go take a taxi. Funnily enough, in this game, there's only 3 taxi spots in like both of the Kamurocho and Okinawa, which is really funny. There's barely any taxi spots, which is why we have to walk everywhere. But whenever we need to come back to Serena, we tend to taxi to South Nakamichi Street. Now, there can be fight spawns down here at this point, and Tenkichi Street's a real annoying thing to avoid them on, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down here, make him chase me. Eventually he gives up, and then I can just run around him. If I hadn't done that, he would have caught me by the lamppost. Right, cool. So this is an entire blurb about a piece of side content where you go and deal with assassins and hitmen. It's not really anything relevant to the plot, so Skemmy, if you have anything you need to say, please feel free to use this time.
Sure, just a reminder that Break the Record Live for Minecraft is happening next weekend, and Break the Record Live for Super Mario Sunshine is happening from the 28th to the 30th of May, both under the banner of ESA. And also a reminder that BSG's Online 5 is happening the 18th to 20th June, and the submissions are open right now. Back to you, Rebel.
Alright, cool. Sorry, this piece of dialogue is really, really long. So after this, we're gonna go back to we're actually gonna get to go back to Serena so we can end the chapter. This part we have to go down some really, really dense streets. So this little street here, the controls really did not like me there. There could be fight spawns everywhere around here. I have to go around here. Oh, that was scary. That guy nearly caught me. Alright, so there's a guy at the end here as well. Hopefully he doesn't turn around. Don't turn around. Alright, cool, he didn't turn around. And we'll talk to Date. One encounter up till this point in a no reset is actually really, really good. You sometimes just get bodied with how they decide they want to spawn. Alright, so now we're going to talk to Date. And that ends the chapter. Right, so the next chapter's got a real big name in it. It's called The Mad Dog. So I'm pretty sure you can assume what's going to happen in this chapter if you know anything about the stories of Yakuza. We're going to go see Majima. So we're going to go straight to Purgatory because in Yakuza 2 that's where Majima's been hanging out. So we're going to go to Purgatory. There can actually be fight spawns down here or on the way down here, which is kind of annoying because you barely have to walk anywhere. I'm going to go around these guys, just try and get myself a nice straight line. Around the taxi. So one thing with the older engine games, a lot of these items on the side are just solid, so if you run into them you just get stopped like that. So I'm having to avoid everything because you just go on everything. There's East Park Boulevard. Alright, cool. Gonna go around here. I'm gonna go straight to Purgatory. And this is kind of like a point of no return for the chapter, because once you go in here, you can't actually leave. As far as I know. You can't leave until after this chapter's been completed. But yeah, so now Majima slowly walks to where we need to go, which is actually the Colosseum, because, as you assume, we're meeting Majima, we have to punch him again. So I'm trying to push him around to push him to where we need to go. Unlike Date, this is a little bit easier because you can do it while running, which makes it a tiny bit easier. Those are some good pushes I'm getting. Oh, that was kind of bad. That was not a very good one. Okay, that was a good push. That was not a good push. That was not a good push as well. Alright, so we're going to go into the Colosseum. And nice little cutscene about Kiryu being like, the Colosseum's closed, and then Majima's like, wow, if you want me to talk, I need you to punch me. So, in classic Yakuza fashion, we throw the shirts off and we're going to punch Majima. Alright, and again I'm going to stun lock him as he gets up. Do one more combo. Grab up Expulsion 12. Shoot him. Kick him in the stomach. Shoot him. kick him in the stomach, shoot at him, and then snap in his face. And that is the Majima fight. That was a really good fight. That was a really good chapter. Alright, cool. So now he's going to tell us about everything that's going on, and now the florist is back in Purgatory, which is where he was in Yakuza 1. And Yakuza 2, he goes above ground and is in the and was in the Millennium Tower. But in this game, that's not where he is. He's back in Purgatory because he stopped being a member of the police force. And now he tells Kiryu that Hamazaki has brought the Snake Flower Triad to Kamurocho. So Kiryu decides to be a good father figure, and he phones Rakia. But Rakia decides to get into a fight with the people of the Snake Flower Triad, and gets caught anyway. Because, you know, this is Rakia. He don't take anything from anybody, but, you know, just gets beat up by everyone anyway. So mash through this text scene, and then Kiryu goes, I need to go save Rakia, which is what we're going to go do. Alright, cool. So leave. Save Rakia. So the camera here likes to switch. You can't move the camera until you get here, and the controls like to whack out on you. It didn't do it there, but you can just get controller locked into a position, and you just have to deal with it from there. But it didn't happen there. There's not many NPCs that spawn in here, but I'm going to pan the camera down anyway. Alright, good. I need to use the item box. Go away all this stuff that I don't need. Now I'm going to leave. This tells us about the hideout that we can use from the Majima family office, which is, well, Purgatory is now. It's the Majima family office, because Majima has his own Yakuza family in the Tojo clan. So we're gonna go over here. So the place that we're in, actually in Yakuza 4 and 5, becomes a place called Kamurocho Hills. They start construction on Kamurocho Hills in Yakuza 2, but they don't finish it fully till Yakuza 5. Okay, good. So one thing I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make sure I hit enemies into each other and into walls and such. Stamp on that guy's face. That was an insane fight. That was so good. Alright, so I'll go over here. Pick up this guy's gun. I'm going to go down here. There are strats where you grab both guns, but I haven't got used to doing them yet, so I'm just going to do what I'm consistent with. And I say consistent, but yeah, we have to fight this man that we like to call Purple Shirt Guy. We don't like Purple Shirt Guy. Purple Shirt Guy isn't the problem in this fight, it's all the random people around him. So all the random people around him have very small HP bars and will continue to spawn until we get rid of 1 HP bar on Purple Shirt Man. So that's why they're annoying. So Purple Shirt Man, after every time you try and hit him 3 times, he will do... He will retaliate. Okay, this is not going the way I want it to. Okay, good, I got him. This is just going poorly because... You know what, I'm just going to grab that guy. Get rid of that guy. Could you not hit me, please? Oh, thank you, you got me back. Oh, I tried to hit the Purple Shirt Guy with the heat move of the bike, it didn't work. Lamau. That just happens. Purple shirt guy's like is like one of the most random fights in this entire game. But as you see, he ran away, so we're not done with purple shirt guy. But luckily, in the next fight, purple shirt guy, he's much more consistent. We can bait him into doing stuff. Grab the bike. Grab this man. Throw the bike in his head. Alright, so I'm going to grab this dude's gun. As per usual in Yakuza 3 fashion, you don't need to deal with half the enemies in these set pieces. Like all these guys with the swords and stuff, we don't need to deal with. So I'm going to shoot this man 3 times, shoot this man. Good, the gun didn't despawn. So if you kill that guy in the wrong position, the guy on the right, his gun will just despawn, which means you don't get access to it in this fight. So I threw both the guns in here because I need both of them. Cool, fast shooting again. Move in position a little bit just to make sure I'm in range to deal with him afterwards. Now he's going to do that, and then I can do that. Oh, Yakuza 3 and it's sometimes too good. Quick step. I didn't mention it, but Yakuza 3's quick step goes really, really far. So it's really, really good, but in some instances like that, it goes a little bit too far, which makes it kind of annoying to deal with. So what I was trying to do there is, if Purple Shirt Man blocks 3 attacks, he will always retaliate. And when he retaliates, you can dodge behind him and hit him in the back. Perfect. You can dodge behind him and hit him in the back. But my quick step was going so far that it was going just around him fully. It's just something that it does in this game. It's hard to control the quick step. Dodge these guys. Oh, okay, that guy hit me in the butt. Taking damage here doesn't exactly matter because you get healed between chapters anyway. Also, I'm on easy mode, so the damage I take isn't exactly like insanely worrisome. Just means I lose a tiny bit of time from getting hit. So you're technically meant to hit this guy with the bike with stuff, but if you just go behind him, you can just destroy the fence and go on without having to fight him. Right, there's a guy who throws knives at you here. He throws one knife and then he doesn't do any more, so I just dodge the knife. Cool. I'm gonna go around here. I'm gonna grab a gun from one of these guys. Grab that gun. Oh, I tried to dodge him, but it didn't really work. Cool, shoot those guys. Drop my gun because I don't need that one. Pick up this new one. Throw it into the fight. Alright, cool. So, this is the red shirt guy. Pick up my gun. Blast him with some bullets. Pull out my shotgun. Shoot him once. Stamp in his face. Shoot him a second time. Stamp in his face. And that's how we deal with purple and red shirt guy. Right, so if you notice, I've got 1 shot left in my shotgun. And we're coming up to a boss fight. So this is Lao Kao Long. So, in order to not have to deal with phase 1, I'm just going to shoot him, stamp in his face. I reloaded my revolver so I could do this to him. So this guy actually has like multiple phases and different weapons that he pulls out, but yeah, that just cheeses him completely. I'm actually going to save because coming up is a lovely part of the run. That's the save I need. Cool, it saves system data. Yeah, I know you saved. So now we're coming up on Chapter 9. So Chapter 9 is known as La Plot. And this is where Kiryu gets told all of the plot. But before we can get to the plot, Mine here turns up with Kanda's head in a suitcase to try and prove to Kiryu that he's a good man. Yakuza logic. But these guys still don't trust him, so we're gonna do some more looking into stuff. So I need to talk to Rakia because we need to tell Rakia to go back to Okinawa because it's too dangerous in Kamurocho for him. So he needs to go back and be with the Ryudo family. But before we can even get to that, we got to play some blackjack. So I'm gonna go do some gambling real quick. So I picked up 2 blackjack amulets. What they do is they give me 10 free blackjacks. And after 10, I should have enough money to complete the game. Emphasis on the should. Alright, cool. We're going to go to high rate blackjack. Alright, so we're going to bet 1,000 chips. There's our first blackjack. I'm going to count them. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, don't destroy me, game. Okay, good game, didn't destroy me. There's 1. 2. 3. I need the game to give it to me now. Oh no, it's a tie! Okay, don't do this to me. Okay, high stakes, good. And this should give me my last 3 blackjack. Cool. Right, I kind of got destroyed a little bit there, but the game decided to give me good RNG. So right there, what I was trying to get was a high rate blackjack during one of the turns where I have a... Oh, I did throw my arms. While I had a blackjack amulet active, because if you win a high stakes with a 21, you actually get more money back. So that's what I was trying to do. So the rules to that is you can't get a high stakes in the first 5 hands that you play. But the 6th hand up to the 11th hand can have a high stakes. And the RNG section comes in where you can't have it on the 6th because you're not actually allowed to use an item on the 6th hand. So you need it on the 6th hand, on the 7th hand to the 10th hand. If you get it on the 11th hand, you need to YOLO and try and win the hand by yourself with pure RNG and luck, because, you know, gambling. But yeah, basically, if that doesn't go well and you don't get enough money to buy the 20 platinum plates that I brought, the platinum plates that I brought, yeah, you actually cannot complete the run because we don't have enough money to do the strats that we need. So yes, Yakuza 3 has a 33 to 34% chance to make a run uncompletable an hour and a half in. And that's the reason why I saved. Yakuza 3 doesn't have it as bad as Yakuza 4, where Yakuza 4 has a flat 50-50, 2 hours and 45 minutes into a 3-hour run. So most Yakuza 4 runs is hope you have a good run up to roulette, and then just pray to God that you get guess right on roulette. Right, cool. So I'm gonna go sell my platinum plates now. I'm gonna sell all 20 of them, sell that, stop wait for them. Alright, cool. So now I have 3 million yen. And that's enough money to do what I need to do for this run. So we're going to go see Date. Date's outside Serena. I have to be careful of fight spawns. There can be a fight spawn literally right here. And there is one. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to go around him like that. And dodge him like that. That was a hell yes. Right, so I mentioned earlier that I opened up the weapon shop for Chapter 9. We are about to go to the weapon shop and we're about to bomb out some money. So I'm taking this route here because it's a tiny, weeny bit slower than going the direct route, which I used to go. But it's so much easier to avoid fight spawns when you come up through this way. So I decided to go with the consistency over the speed for this one. As you can see, you get much more room to walk around than if you go down here in the side and down there in the side streets. So we're going to go in here. Buy 13 guns. And that is our stuff for the rest of this run. So now we're going to go to the plot. So this is where the game decides to drop everything on you about what's happening in the game. I like how they leave it till chapter 9 to do so, just to really make sure that you're playing some Yakuza 3. So we're going to go see Tamiya, that's his name. I always confuse Kamiyama and this dude. But yeah, this guy's called Tamiya. He's the politician who was also trying to get the land. So the whole idea is the Yakuza want it because they want to build a casino. But this guy wants it because he wants to build a military base. But he doesn't actually want to build a military base. The military base is actually a front to flush out a rogue group of CIA members. So do you remember that guy I shotgunned earlier, Richardson, or the Man in Black, or the mysterious foreigner? Yeah, he's a member of this secret CIA group. And this dude's trying to flush him out. And Mine's also involved, because one of the Tojo clan has to be involved. Because it's a Yakuza game, the someone in the Tojo clan has to be like trying to get some power. So this is where you get a taste of what the rest of this run's like. Let's find dude. Okay. So last guy, he's over here. There he is. I have to find him. So yeah, just gonna shoot some dudes. Right, I delayed before the last guy to make sure he didn't fall over, because if he fell over, I would have had to put the gun away and do a heat move, and I would have wasted a shot. Right, so Kiryu now has been asked by Tamiya to stop the lookalike of Kazuma, who's actually his adopted father's brother, called Joji Kazuma. I think his adopted dad's name was Shintaro Kazuma or something. I can't actually remember off the top of my head. It's been so long since I saw that name, because I don't tend to run. I haven't run any of the older Yakuza games, so the names just escape me. I've played them, but I haven't speedrun them, so names do escape. I'm gonna go to Okinawa. So yeah. I have more than enough money for the rest of this run. That 10,000 yen I got from that first fight spawn actually kind of made it easier for me to money route. So now we're going to go back to the orphanage. So if you thought we were done with the orphanage stuff, or we have some orphanage stuff to go before we get into more boss fights and stuff. So we're going to go back to the orphanage right now, and we're going to go see some of the some of the kids and explain what's going on to the guys from the Ryudo family. So while I'm doing that, if you have anything you need to talk about on the hosting side, Skenme, please feel free to use a bit of this time.
Wonderful, thank you very much. So, as a reminder, we're raising money to support Crisis, which is a charity that supports people out of homelessness for good. They achieve this through education, training, and support with housing, employment, and health. 100% of your donations will be supporting Crisis. So, we have about an hour left before we go over to the Mirror's Edge run. There is an open bid war between the inbounds percent and the 100% category. Currently, the 100% category is in the lead with $110.43, and the inbounds percent has a little way to catch up with $20. So if you're going to make a donation, get it in the next hour and assign it to one of those incentives to change what happens in the next run. Thank you, Rebel. Back to you.
Hell yes. So Haruka asks us to go get Taiji here because it's his turn to go shopping, but he's too busy play fighting with Misuro, play wrestling. I really hope Misuro's model bugs out in this cutscene because it's really funny. Please, 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 please. Oh, I didn't. So, for some reason, on the remaster, sometimes Mitsuru's model starts up in the air, then he has to fly back into position before he can run up the hill. It sometimes does, it sometimes doesn't. I don't know what causes it, but I really want it to happen then, because it is actually really funny when it does happen. So, poor Taiji here passes out, and the doctor, before the testings come back, basically, like, says it might be something like asthma or some other breathing respiratory problem. So this upsets Taiji because Taiji wanted to be a wrestler. So in order to try and make him feel better, Rukia says to Kiryu that maybe we should set up a wrestling ring and wrestle me versus you. So while he sets up that ring, we're going to take a quick stop into town. A very, very quick stop because we need to waste time. So we're going to make a quick stop into town. And by a quick stop, I mean I take one step and then the ring's ready. There it is. Right then, so now we get into the Ricky Mask and Dragon Mask fight. This is kind of like a mini game fight, really. Like, you have to do specific things that the game tells you to do. If this was just a straight up fight, it'd be much easier, but no, because it's a wrestling match, we have to we're basically putting on a show for the kids, so we're trying to do specific things. So the first thing the game asks you to do is asks you to throw the opponent twice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for him to get up, because basically you can't re-grab Rukia again until he does something. So after that, grab him again. And then I'm going to run at him and drop kick. Do that twice. Right, now this is the really annoying part. So he needs to knock me down. He can't do that move. That move doesn't count as getting knocked down. I can't tell you why, but it doesn't. Okay, Rukia, knock. Rukia, knock me down. Knock me down. Thank you. I missed my Tamaki get up because I wasn't ready for it. Oh, Lamau, I actually got him. Now I'm going to wait for him here and I'm going to do the heat move. And that's the end of the Rookie Mask. So for some reason, the move where he jumps on top of you, then like flips you down, doesn't count as being knocked down, even though you get knocked down. Developers, I don't know why you decided to do that, but could you not? Because that is really annoying that a move that knocks you down doesn't count as getting knocked down. So it turns out that that Taichi isn't actually asthmatic or any other respiratory issue. He's actually allergic to buckwheat, which was in some noodles that he had. So, yeah, he's actually perfectly fine. He just needs to avoid those noodles. Alright, cool. So, Kiryu then decides he needs to go spy on his daughter because it seems like she's up to no good. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to take a quick taxi. Because it gets to where we need to go a little bit faster. I think it's only like a second or two faster, but it's just a bit easier than trying to deal with close ones. There was a close one right there that I nearly walked into. Lamau. So Haruka is seen here looking at a job thing. But now she runs off because she sees Kiryu. Oh god. And now we're going to run up to where she is. Shout out to that sub-story that we used to do. Now that boy's going to fall off the bridge and fall into the water. Sorry man, we can't help you anymore yet. You ain't the speedrun strats. So she's back here talking to these two rather suspicious looking dudes. Who hand her an envelope. And then tells her just to go hand out stuff. And they run away as soon as they see Kiryu. And Haruka runs away as soon as she sees Kiryu. So I'm having to avoid these three dudes walking around as well because they are a sub-story. They are a moving sub-story. There's a fight spawn there. Lovely. Oh, I got caught because I thought I could get around that pole. No! Big rip! Guess I'm doing a fight. Lovely. And this should be lost too. That's a really silly fight sworn to get caught by. Don't give me an item, please. Sandman double X, that's not bad. I'll take a Sandman double X, but that was a really silly fight sworn to get touched by. That is another fight sworn. You heard him go, "Whoa!" right as I activated this cutscene. He might still be there after this cutscene's passed. That was a silly fight spawn to get caught by. That's a nice 30 seconds time loss for no real reason.
Oi.
Alright then. So he sees Haruka handing out these envelopes to people, and he's like, "Han, Haruka, what the hell are you doing?" And she's like, "Oh, nothing." Oh no, he was still there, like I thought. Luckily, Kiryu walks further up the bridge, which means there's no chance that he can, like, hit you in the butt. Right then. So, the reason why Kiryu thinks that something's wrong is because Haruka here makes a really, really expensive dish that they normally don't have. Unless it's a special occasion, but she just makes it on this random day. Meaning that he's like, "Hang on a second, how much money has been getting rolled around here?" And because then she's like, "I have to go out to town," Kiryu's like, "Hang on a second, it's getting late, please don't go." And then she's like, "No, I'm going anyway." So he's like, "Wait, I need to go stop her." Hopefully the controls don't whack out on me here. They didn't. Sometimes after that Find Haruka thing, the controls like to reverse on you. They didn't do it there. So luckily for this bit, I just have to go straight to where Haruka is. There's no prerequisite. And she's up here at the end of the road. Hopefully there's no fight spawns here to surprise me. There is not, no. Because there can be one in the middle there at the crossroads, or actually somewhere down here, which is kind of annoying. So now, Kiryu sees these dudes talking to Haruka again, and he's like, "Hang on a second, this looks mighty sus." Because a policeman walks up to her and she pretends like she's doing nothing. Because that's what they tell her to do. So this dude walks up and she just gives him the envelope. And then we get a nice section where we have to just stand here and watch as people walk up to her. Because if we step in too early, we have to start this entire section all over again. So these different guys are going to walk up to Haruka. And we just need to wait and see. If we click step in too early, both the guy and Haruka runs away and this segment starts all over again. You have to do this like 4 or 5 times. So you just have to wait and see. I'm pretty sure it's not the policeman next, it's another dude, and then it is the policeman, and then it's the card forgers again. So yeah, as I just said, you find out that these guys are forging cards and giving them out to people. There's the policeman. And then the 2 guys are going to walk back up. And now we get to step in. If you click wait and see on them, you have to do the whole thing again anyway until you step in for these guys. So these are the card forgers. You can get a 1 combo here, but it's kind of hard to do it, so I would have got it there if Kiryu had gone the right way with his flip kick. That's kind of annoying, but also kind of a meme. Right. Right, so you find out the reason why Haruka was doing all of this is because Rukia and Mikio were having a conversation about how they are struggling to keep up the rent on the Ryudo family office, but Haruka thought it was in relation to the orphanage, which they're not having trouble with money at all. So yeah, that's why Haruka went and got that shady job for from those two dudes. So now we're going to go back to the orphanage. Alright then. Around here. There's a fight spawn there still. Oh my word. Alright. Go back here. Oh, I lost 33 seconds from that fight spawn. Lovely. Right. So now Kiryu's going to go tell Haruka and some of the other kids to get a bath, but he's going to witness a argument between her and Izumi about no, sorry, not an argument. Izumi's asking Ayako for money, and Shiro's also asking, and Shiro also comes and asks Ayako if she can help him with his homework. So in the orphanage, Ayako is actually the oldest of all the kids, so she kind of feels like she's responsible in a lot of cases for them, even though she's not really. It's Kiryu's responsibility to do all that with them. As the oldest one there, she kind of feels like she's the big sister, and Kiryu is concerned about that, obviously. Oh, now my mum's decided to hoover right outside my room, if you can hear that. Right. So, the next day, after helping people with all their stuff, Ayako asks Azumi what she spent the money that she borrowed on. Was it that new toy? But no, she didn't buy the toy. She went and brought sweets for her and her friend. And then Shiro got in trouble because he didn't do the homework right, but he didn't explain the homework right to Ayako. So, rightfully so, Ayako gets kind of miffed and like runs off. So Kiryu, in pure Kiryu fashion, much like earlier where we had that emergency meeting and he like threw sus, he is just going to call everyone out for not appreciating Ayako enough. So yeah, we have to go through each individual of these kids and call them out for like not appreciating Ayako enough for what she does for everyone. Alright, one more after this, and then he's like, I'm gonna go find her. So we're coming up on the last chase sections of the run. And it's chasing Ayako around Okinawa to basically try and catch her to bring her back to the orphanage. I don't know why I'm panning the camera down, I don't need to do it here, but yep. She's actually up by where the coin lockers are, so we're going to go around here. And we're going to take a taxi up to the east side of Okinawa. Up here. Try not to get hit by the car. As I said, there could be fight spawns in this plaza. Those three girls on the right are a sub-story. So we did try to avoid them because it's just an extra cutscene that we don't want. And here's Ayako. Alright then, so Ayako here runs away from Kiryu, and this girl is an insane runner. So all I'm going to do here is I'm going to try and avoid running into pedestrians and running into walls. This is basically an auto-scroller, but you can lose time if you run into people or walls and such. So yeah, but this girl just completely outruns a seasoned Yakuza with her ice skate style running. She can actually get caught on pedestrians while going across the road here, and it's pretty funny because if she gets caught away from this cutscene trigger here, she actually flies from wherever she is into the cutscene trigger, and it just looks hilarious. It doesn't happen very often because of she's kind of programmed to run around them anyway. So this is the second chase. So this is around the top of Okinawa. There's always a lot of pedestrians here which you need to watch out for. And here as well on this corner. So I like to cut these corners to try and make sure that I'm not running into people. Something else that you can't do in this, unlike the last chase which we got, which was against Mac. Oh, I nearly ran into all of those pedestrians. We can't actually hit Ayako. I'm pressing square right now to tackle, but it doesn't come out because obviously we don't want to hit the small girl from the orphanage. So poor Kiryu here is winded to hell. Like, he's just dying because like, if you know anything about Kiryu, this man also like smokes as well, or did smoke. So he's just dying from all this running. And then she just starts running again. So we're going to go all the way around Okinawa this time rather than just a small portion of it. Because, you know, double that distance. And it's funny because normally chase sections end when the opponent's stamina or HP bar in the bottom right hand corner reaches 0. And that is when a chase will end. Ayako here, hers disappears in like a second here, and then it just kind of, yeah, doesn't come back. Yeah. And the chase doesn't end. You just have to go around her. And all the way around here. And all the way back around here. To this bridge at the end. Before she finally gives up. Alright, skipping through all this text. And then we're going to go back to the orphanage. And there's a nice cutscene. Which I skip because speedrun. But it's a nice cutscene of everyone making up with Ayako. And then we get back to our regularly scheduled Yakuza run of let's go shoot some people. Right then, so. Going back here. And around here. Right, so now Kiryu gets a call from the politician that we saw before in Chapter 9, and is told that the guy that we need to find, Joji, is actually in Okinawa, about to go shoot his right-hand man, who is kind of betraying him to get the deeds for himself, for Mine, and some other complicated stuff that honestly I honestly never remember. I think it's my op gun. I'm gonna quick check. Is what I've done. Because if I get this wrong, I get a cutscene in the QTE. So I wanted to make sure that I was thinking right there. Alright, cool. That's not festival. That's just a dude who wants to talk. Right, cool. So we're gonna go fight Joji, who is in this cabaret club here. Cutscene there. And this is Joji. Joji here is actually kind of a complex boss fight. We're going to shoot him 3 times, and then we're going to empty an entire clip into him. If you don't do this, this guy has multiple phases, and he has like a big QTE, and the arena also switches. Like, there's a bunch of complex stuff that we just completely allow on that dude, because, yeah, we shoot him instead, and stun lock him with bullets. And so this is when we find out that Joji actually wasn't the one who shot anyone. It was actually Richardson, or that man in black that we saw back in Chapter 5. He was the one who shot Nakahara and Daigo. And now he has gone rogue away from Joji because Joji works for the CIA in America. And now he's trying to find him as well. So during this time that Kiryu's been looking for Joji, Mine and Tamashiro show up and they destroy the orphanage with a bulldozer. Because Yakuza. So now Kiryu is angry and we're going to go and shoot some Tamashiro because we don't like that man anymore because he destroyed our orphanage. So give me a second here to go back to the orphanage. There's a couple of cutscenes and then we get to go to the ball ring. So not only did he destroy the orphanage, he also took Nakahara. And at this point Nakahara is still recovering from his gunshot wound, so he's kind of so he is not exactly in the best of shape. So it's kind of worrying right now for Kiryu, especially with Nakahara being how he is. So as you can see, the orphanage is absolutely trashed. So, you know, we don't like this guy now, so we're gonna go and deal with him. Oh, where am I going? Cool, I was wiggling the stick. Alright, I actually got caught by a fight spawn by these 2 guys the other day, and I got really annoyed because there's never normally one there. So we're going to the ball ring. So first things first, we have to deal with some Tamashiro grunts. But as per usual, we're just going to shoot them. Cool, that was a really, really good first phase. Right, so Nakahara here is getting attacked by balls because Tamashiro throws him in there and starts firing bullets, which angers the balls. So we're going to do a nice QT here to stop the ball from getting there. And then Tamashiro appears. As per what we've been doing, you can assume what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull out a gun and I'm going to shoot this guy. The main reason why we do this with the gun is because this guy actually has phases where he calls his minions in and they get in your way of dealing with him. So doing this actually skips like so many phases. It skips so much in this fight by just unlocking him with bullets. And now we're coming up to chapter 12, which is actually the finale of this game. So after dealing with Tamashiro, Nakahara gets some of his guts back and stuff because Saki finally talks to him. Up till this point, she has been a mute, so that's some nice character development for Saki. So the cutscenes at the start of chapter 12 is just Kiryu and Haruka just getting the Kamurocho to deal with stuff. And we're going to talk to our boy here. This is our boy Rick Langley. Half his conversation is him basically explaining who he is and that the CIA is on our side. And then he just disappears again, never to be seen. But he has a name. That's our boy Rick Langley. So we're coming up here because, as per usual in most Yakuza games, Kiryu is under the impression that this is going to be his last fight. So he decides to bring Haruka with him to spend some quality time with Haruka in Kamurocho before he might die. But no, we're just going to turn around and tell her to stay here because we need to go deal with the hospital. Annoyingly, you can actually still get fight spawns up and down Tenkaichi Street here, which is really, really frustrating. In the last chapter of the game, you can just get destroyed by 30 seconds of time loss. I've only ever seen a fight spawn up here once or twice during chapter 12, but it can happen, so you have to be watching for it. Something good about the old engines that I didn't mention is when you're on this street at the bottom of Kamurocho, until the Dragon engine, you can't actually get a fight spawn there. Because basically there's not enough room for the fight spawn to take place. Oh god. Right, so now we're going to go to the Toto Hospital. And this is the last set piece of the game. So we're going to go in the hospital. We're going to get mugged by a bunch of dudes. And I have to do some math in my head real quick. So, on this set of guns, shoot one bullet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, 11. Good. One, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, cool. Right. I'm going to pull out the gun I shot one bullet from, and this actually gives me enough bullets to do this part fully. So, as per usual, Yakuza 3 fashion, we're just going to run past all the enemies and only deal with the ones that get... Oh, no! Oh, bugger. That guy took one of my shots. Ah, this isn't good. I know how to recover it. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to have to shoot one of the guys. Yeah. I know how to recover it. Right, and you can shoot this guy all the way from the other side of the map. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have to hit someone in the elevator to fix my gun stuff. Punch that guy. Pick that up. Dodge that. Right, so there's more guys here. Right. So there are people with guns here. Luckily on easy mode, they don't actually aggro you too hard. Normally in most Yakuza runs, you need to worry about guys with guns early. But, yeah, in this game, you really don't care. This guy here is the only one that's actually probably going to shoot you. If you let him. So that's why we punch him. So I need to shoot 3 shots on this one and then punch the guy. Okay, I know what I need to do. And I can fix my guns. 1, 2, 3. Cool, I fixed myself. So the whole reason why I had to like punch that guy is because I'm actually doing a route with my guns where I actually end the run with exactly 0 on my bullets. So that is why my ammo routing is actually incredibly specific. It's up. It's my up gun I need to use. So after this, I have one more set of guns to use, and that takes me through to the end of the run. So we're going into Daigo's room. So we were going up to the floor, to the 25th floor, because that's where we found out that Daigo's hospital room was. We'll run around here. And run around here. This is actually a really, really good hospital climb. Slightly slow because of my menus and having to fix my gun stuff. But yeah, so this is the CIA operative, or Richardson. And we're just going to shoot him, because I am tired of dealing with this man. And we're going to go through here. Alright, so he's not dead, obviously, because Kiryu doesn't actually kill people. And this is a Yakuza game. So when do people ever die? Look, he's about to move his hand. There, come on, man, come on. There it is. Right. So there's some more police guys that come into this room. I actually want one of them to knock over the table because it makes the next boss fight really, really easy. Oh my word, what the hell is that noise outside? Oh, pause the game, Kiryu. Do that, do that. Hopefully the gun doesn't actually despawn. Because they can despawn if they're too close to the door. Oh my word, that... Sorry, that noise crapped me up as well. So... me throwing these guns actually does damage to him. And I actually need to... me throwing them to actually hit him for this to actually work out. Oh, that noise was so loud. I've got no idea what it was. Oh my word. Alright. So, now there's going to be some more police guys that jump down from the ceiling. I'm going to use exactly 8 bullets from one of my full guns. And then the remaining 3 in my left gun. And that gives me exactly the right amount of bullets to beat the final boss. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Pull out my other gun. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Alright, so we're coming up on the final boss, which is with Mine. And if you fight this guy out casually, he's got some really cool moves, some really cool phases, some really cool QTEs. We're just going to cheese this man. So time is at the end of this boss fight. It's on the final shot, I will call it. So tech, be ready for that. It's in about a minute, about 40 seconds time. So I can't actually skip this fight intro because it's the final boss one and it's so epic. Because, you know, the shirts have to come off for the final fight. They just have to. This is a Yakuza game. So here we go. Then I'm just going to unload some bullets into this man. Because, you know, we don't fight fair around here. So, 1. And we're going to unload this gun into him. And time is when I call it. Time. And that
Congratulations.
And that was Yakuza 3, thank you. Where we go play blackjack and we cheese the rest of the game. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. This is one of the easy Yakuza games to pick up if like you're looking to pick up a Yakuza run. Just some quick shout outs to the Yakuza guys. So people like Tapioca, Froob, Toxic, Kuro. Just those guys. If you go on the speedrun.com, most of the Yakuza games have a page, nearly all of them do, and you can go in the Discord from there. If you want to learn any of them, most of them have notes on them as well. So, yeah, that's it for me. Hopefully you guys enjoy the next run, which is Mirror's Edge. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much, Rebel, and thank you for showcasing what is quite an interesting run, actually. My eyes were glued to the screen, I'm not going to lie to you. So, as Rebel mentioned, we have Mirror's Edge coming up now with Bingo Bangos. There has been a donation very quickly come in from Cookie that says, "Let's go Bingo Bongos" for $20. So thank you for that $20 donation there. And thank you for watching the United Kingdom Speedrunner Gathering. And we will be back after this brief intermission.